what's going on, everyone? And welcome back to another great epic episode of Just My Opinion Reviews. Guys, this time we are talking Exhibiting Forgiveness, this spoilers review, or it'll be light spoilers, okay? We're gonna talk about, no, we definitely gonna spoil the film. There's really no way that I want to talk about it without it. And so, yeah, we're gonna spoil it up, down, left, right, in, and out as if you've already seen it. That is your warning, okay? Also, I got my guest right here, Mr. Malcolm Toussaint. What's going on, sir? How you doing? How you doing?
I'm good, man. Always in the mood to talk about independent black film, man. So this
Yes.
is my jazz.
Yes, man. You know, we are excited about we're fans of black people over here, guys. If you did not know, we are. Now, this film right here snuck up on me, to be honest with you. It is directed by Mr. Titus Kaphar. Malcolm, have you heard of this gentleman before?
I had not. He's new to me. I think he's new to the world, but like I hadn't heard of him before, but I'm excited that I have.
Yeah, man. If we look at his filmography, he has done nothing, which makes this so impressive. I mean, directing credits, this is his first feature. He's only done these two shorts right here. He's the writer of this film and the producer. So he's fresh out the gate. And Malcolm, what the hell? Like, this is a freaking masterpiece. Like, are you serious? Are you? This movie is so good. This movie is so good. What the hell, man? This does not make sense why this movie is so good. I was like verbally just like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God in this movie. Like, oh, like, I don't even know where to start. Like, I loved it. Like, seriously.
Yeah.
As far as like, best picture is like this and Conclave. I don't know if you've seen Conclave.
Yeah, I've seen Conclave.
This is up there, man. This is competing, bro. Go ahead.
No, it's not. So I want to bust your bubble. It's not a masterpiece. It's a great film. As a matter of fact, it's in my top 10. I'm mad that I just now saw it because if I would have saw it in last year, it probably would have been higher. But it's in my top 10, maybe towards the end, but not number 10. I have to look at my list again. But it's definitely a top 10 film in 2024.
Ooh, bro, I have never seen like art display like this in film ever. I mean, so Malcolm, you've been over my apartment, right? You've seen like my setup. My TV, my big TV went out like about 2 months ago, right? So I had to bring my smaller TV downstairs, and I don't have my surround sound hooked up. But I was watching this movie. In the first 10 minutes, the music, the blues was so good. I was like, I had to hook my surround sound up to my little little ghetto TV, man, because it was just that good. Like, wow, man, like all the instruments in this was phenomenal. It was moving. We just got done reviewing The Fire Inside, who was also written by Barry Jenkins. And Barry Jenkins was also produced or directed or wrote If Beale Street Could Talk. It came out in 2018. I haven't been moved that movie was a perfect 10 for me. I haven't been moved this much since If Beale Street Could Talk. So that's like 7 years. That's just how good it was to me. Like, what did you think of the composition, the score in this film? And did it work for you the same way it worked for me?
Yeah, the music was great. Like you said, the score and also having Andra Day in the film, and also having her sing in the film. That's a cheat code, bro. Like, how did you get that? What? How did this happen? How does this a thing? You know what I mean? And I don't know where you want to start exactly, but I'm on.
You can start wherever you want, bro.
So listen, I saw her in, I think it was The Deliverance or something on Netflix. It wasn't the best movie in the world, but like, oh, she got some chops. Like I discovered her when she was up and coming, and I was like, oh, like this is gonna be my little indie jazz soul, favorite. But then everybody heard her music, and now she's a star. And I'm glad that happened for her. But I'm also glad that I discovered her early. I didn't know that she had the acting chops, and I think she actually is beautiful to see her transition into a great, legitimate actress. I mean, her face, it conveys really deep emotion. She has these sharp cheekbones and this big forehead and sharp jawline and chin. Her eyes go deep, and it helps, of course, the green as well. But like her eyes, the socket is just like really deep, and you can see in it. So her face is made for the big screen. So I'm really a big fan of her as an actress as well. And I want to see what else she does, with these dramatic roles. And I think she's doing great. Her team, whoever's around her, like this is this is it. This is where you should start. You know what I mean? No bubblegum, popcorn stuff. Like get the dramatics out the way and show you really got the chops. And like she's doing a great job. Like, but
Yeah,
like I said, also her singing in the film, that's a cheat code. Like, how did y'all get her to do that? You know what I mean?
yeah, yeah.
Several times. She sung at least 3 times in the film.
Yeah, man, and she wrapped it up at the end eloquently, you know, with the death of Terrell's mother, played by Ingenue Ellis Taylor. Now we tripping. I don't. I mean, a lot. I'm pretty sure a lot of people slept on this film. I think on Rotten Tomatoes it only has like 75 reviews, only 100 from audiences. But
Mm.
it's a black artist on the path to success is derailed by an unexpected visit from his estranged father, a recovering addict desperate to reconcile. Together they struggle and learn that forgetting might be a greater challenge than forgiving. Now, Malcolm, that is a lot right there.
Yeah,
Even if
it's
you
heavy.
didn't include that story, the film is already amazing in among itself just by the way it's told from a technical standpoint. It says a black artist on the path. Let's just talk about the artistry of this. It is beautiful art everywhere. The director of this film, Titus, where's my mouse clicker? Where did Titus go? The paintings in this movie are his. He is actual a
Yeah,
painter in real
it's
life,
beautiful to
and
see on
the
TV.
yeah
I mean, on film.
the guy is amazing. Even though I did not like the character Janine in this movie, his white representative, how she just was so intrusive and oh my God, your art! I'll take 3 of these. That's how I was still reacting that way when I saw the art in this movie. I just thought it was incredible. Not only was the art that he was drawing in the movie, the way that they filmed it. Sometimes the camera, the brother was rich. Did you see how big his house was?
That's a nice studio.
But
that
like,
ain't that
oh
ain't no
my
still an
God.
artist studio.
I'm jumping around at the very beginning. It's so much to talk about, Michael. First, the black family. Okay, you got him. He looking good. His wife looking good. Got the little baby Jermaine with the fro. That was amazing. I'm just like, oh, just seeing this nice chocolate family is nice, and they have money, and they both are talented. So they're in the kitchen. They have this big ass house. He has his brown T-shirt on. He walks through the house. They're showing how big his house is. He goes outside, and then he goes into this other part of the house, and then just giant ceilings and walls and just open spaces in the studio. I had to take it back. I'm like, did I blink or something? Did he get on a bus to drive somewhere else? No, this is part of his domain, his kingdom.
Mhm.
And when we get there, Malcolm, not only are we seeing the camera zoom in on the canvas and seeing every stroke in the lines and the paintings and all that, they actually give us a number of wide shots with him as like a little stick figure in the corner, showing us him painting all these beautiful pieces of work, and that looks like a painting in itself. And so it's just like really meta and breaking the fourth wall of like how this artist is being displayed on film. And then like we talked about the music, and then he's black too. It's just like it's a sensory overload of dopeness. You know what I'm saying? What say you, man? What say
You brought
you?
up a good point that I didn't even think about because like we just talked about the fire inside, and I love I'm from humble beginnings, so I love those stories. Black folk coming up and struggle. That was a beautiful thing. Like this wasn't focused on that, and I'm not one of those like we only need to see black excellence on TV. People making five hundred
Yeah,
thousand dollars a year. That we don't need to see that. We can see struggle as well because we come from struggle, and that's what most of us are doing. But he wasn't that. His struggle was inside of him. Like it was with his family relationships, and it's like so you didn't have his situation distracting you, right? Like yeah, he come from humble beginnings, but he's doing good. So I love that they could focus. They had him be successful, so we can focus on his actual emotional journey. So
yeah.
that was important. Yeah,
Yeah.
that was a good thing.
I want to talk about Janine. What did you think about her? She something about her hair that just drove me up a wall. She comes storming in this guy's apartment, just like, oh, I want another show, and just saw this, and he's like, it was ridiculous. I like the unity in the family. The mother sent the child in there to go save the daddy. She was on game. She was like, okay, is that my cue? Yeah, get out of here. You're doing too much. I liked all that, man. But that was the point that well, no, actually, before that, you knew he was going through something. Actually, I'm saying too much. Janine, Thoughts, Janine? You have any thoughts on Janine?
So his art dealer.
Yes, yes.
I mean, it fit. I mean, she didn't like blow me
Uh,
away or anything, but it was it fit what needed to be. I mean, she wasn't the
gotcha.
focus at all. Like she didn't bother me that much. I expect those type of things being in the art world, like those type of people, like
Yeah,
they be on it. They don't. They just flat. Like it's like okay, this is the thing, and we don't care about what else you got going on. Like that's so it fit.
I was talking to somebody else before we started recording today about the film, and they was like, "Oh, Janine, I couldn't stand her. Goddamn." Ah. And I wanted to know if your thoughts on that. Also, when she burst into his apartment, his studio, and he was like really uncomfortable, like, "I'm not ready for you to see these." I thought it was a masterpiece. She did too, like not another brushstroke. Later on, a few scenes later, he came back in here and he painted white over it. I was
Mhm.
like, no. Why do you think that was? Or do you think it was because of Janine? Or
No,
am I
I
looking
just
into it
think
too
that it
much?
again. It kind of show. It was a beautiful representation of his emotional journey, and I think it's uh to get back to the director. Of course, this is his first feature film, and he's like older. He's like almost 50 years old, man. Like, okay,
Oh,
this is
okay.
this is really interesting. You know, he's been painting for a while. I'm like blown away. I want to see more of what he got going on. I know he made a short that I got to check out sooner or later, but like, wow, like and I hope this is not like a one trick pony. Like, yes, he's a painter. This is about a painter. It might be. He's not like a. I don't know how if it's one to one his story, but like it was a great representation of someone like him in his space, and so I love the fact that they implemented so much of actual painting into the movie, right? Like that was effective for me. Like you don't really see that a lot, so it was very welcome. Like I wish this film would have got more accolades. I mean, you heard some people talk about it, but it was really understudied. Like people really didn't talk about this film as much as they should. And I'm just
Man,
like,
yeah.
I know it was super independent and from an unknown talent, and I'm not sure how it did on the I think it was like maybe one big film festival, but like it wasn't like a big. It didn't tour a lot, which again that's cool. But it's like this deserves more praise, man. Like this guy, what he's done, like they need to give him more money to do more things. I hope this is he got more left in the chamber. I know, like I said, he's a little bit older now. I hope this is not like a one and done type situation. But I love the long story short, I love the way that they implemented the art into it to show his journey, the cutout, what I mean, the painting over like that that's brilliant, man. That's how it works. You know what I mean in this space.
Yeah, yeah. And I was gonna move on, but no, you're making me think of other stuff too. I want to talk about that cutout at the very end of the thing he cut out. I gotta save that part. But also not just him painting, bro, like at one point they showed him visualizing himself as a child moving a paint like I was like, what? I've never seen anything like that before, like ever, bro. Man, that's like some Inception type stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah,
he saw the event happening, and then his younger self bring the painting over, and it's like I'm having a hard time articulating how I feel about it. Like it
you,
was
you
just
know, did you
out of
recognize the
body
very
experience
beginning?
type thing, huh? Go
No, it
ahead.
was great. Did you at the very beginning with the father when he was like sweeping or whatever, cleaning the car, and he looked over, and that was
Yes.
that was a. I love the idea. I wish they would have shown it differently so we can know it's like a flashback type of situation or it's in a different like maybe change the color of it or something like that. But that's my only complaint. Like I think that would have helped quite a bit. But like I love the idea of it for sure.
Yeah. And you said something like, he. Well, I don't. I forgot what you said earlier. It set a light bulb off in my head, but he went through a lot, Terrell. Um, and where he's living his life, but he's going through something. Serious trauma. To where he can really harm his family, harm his child. He waking up in the middle of the nights, barely can breathe, swinging and hitting the walls and stuff. That's very, very dangerous. And at the very beginning, they show you little highlights of it, but that you don't know exactly what it is. And they'll show like a barrel, so somebody shoveling something, a barrel with some fire, a foot landing on a nail, but it's like quick little edits, and then he just, rises up and just start punching the wall. And even before, you don't know what it is. Even before, when the movie first starts off, he gives us a quote from the late great James Baldwin talking about the relationship between fathers and sons and the biology, and if it's just left down to the biology, you're just going to be left with broken embers. And the scene you're just talking about, it shows a painting of an old man on a wall, and then it brings it to life. And then that art right there is What I like about it is Terrell has this great life, this great family. He got money, he got fame, but he still has these demons that he's dealing with, and he cannot move on in his life until he forgives his father, which we haven't started talking about yet. Where we're about to give the name of the movie, Exhibiting Forgiveness. But at the he hasn't seen his daddy for 15 years. But at the very beginning of the movie, he paints a picture of him in present day while he hasn't seen it, and then we see that painting come to life, and his dad, LaRon or Ronnie, go over there, starts cleaning the tire. I'm just like, wow. To me, that just kind of, and I watched this movie in its entirety yesterday, but in preparation of this review, I watched the very beginning of it today. And I like that visual representation of them just showing you that it is impossible for this guy to move on. And this dark past with his father is still haunting him today. And, forgiveness can be a hard thing, man, because people can do a lot of effed up stuff. But, if you're still holding on to it, it's going to affect you like it's affecting Terrell here. I love that.
Yeah. Speaking of the beginning, like that was his first. I also watched it yesterday as well to make sure I was on game. But I stand that opening, like the title written on the wall and on the sinks, and I'm like, whoa, like who is this visionary? And then you got the painting, and then it turns into a real scene. I'm like, okay, I'm standing. I don't know what's about to happen, but I think I'm gonna like this movie, and I did, right?
Yeah.
So that's just he's a visionary, man. I really want to see more from him. I hope he, I don't know if he, most artists don't look at reviews, but like I hope somebody gets to him, like, man, approach this guy, let him know, like keep making film, like this is great.
Yeah, this was great, man, and we still haven't even got to the trauma yet, man. Like, so
No.
yeah, he gets a phone call, man, and he got to help his mama move. She don't want to move. He tells her to pack her bags. This is Ingenue, Ellis Taylor, man, fantastic actress. I think she did a great job in this film. I can't say that same about a Nickel Boys, and we do have
okay. I wrote that down because I actually liked her a lot in Nickel Boys, and it's like, man, we got to give Anjanae her flowers, man. She's I think where Jennifer Lewis is in the Black Hollywood space.
Yeah,
I think she's next up. That black mother in most films and TV for what I'm saying, Black Hollywood. That's her. I think she has it. Like she solidified it with this. Her doing Nickel Boy in this movie in the same year is a cheat code. Like what? Like okay, she's it. I want to see her more and more, man. She's a powerhouse.
Yeah, keep talking about her. As far as this movie.
No, I mean she again, she's a powerhouse. She's magical, and it's like I was like, and I just came to the realization because it's like, of course she's not the main actress, but in either film, but like what she brings in that role, man, it just reminds me of some of my favorites who aren't like always the A level actors or actresses, and it's like, man, you still feel it. Like she's like, this is real for her. Even the father, I hadn't heard about him before. This is my first time seeing him on film on screen. But he was his name, John Earl Jinks. His storytelling at the very beginning, not at the very beginning, but when he had him on film, his monologue,
in the basement.
Show.
Yeah.
Yeah, in the basement. And it's like I think if you from this place, everybody know LeBron, his father, what I'm saying, this dude who worked extra hard and he ended up on some drugs or something like that. And it's like, what I'm saying, I'm just trying to feed my family. It didn't work out the way he thought it was gonna work out. We've all seen that. But my only complaint about that is the motivation behind him filming his dad seems kind of weak. I know his mom was like, you should do this, but it's like he seemed like he hated his father, so why would he sit down with him and film? And of course, he was a little bit edgy and prickly about it, but it just like the why. But that was just it's a small thing. It doesn't take away from the scene and the performance because I think it was brilliant. And I think he's I looked him up, John Earl. He's won a couple of awards. I think he's been like on in theater and maybe some TV. But this is a great ensemble cast. I don't know how he got this for his first film. Like I really don't understand. Even with the star Andre Holland. I mean, when they were talking about like who's going to replace Denzel back a couple years ago on formerly Twitter, like, and they of course talking about your Michael B. Jordans, those type of guys. I brought up Andre. I thought he was one of them ones. Like he hadn't had like this superstar, this big money perform or like film yet. Like as far as being a main actor, but like he got the chops, man. Like he just has this thing on film where he can like convey these emotions at a very high level. And it's like somebody like he needs to take. Of course, what he did with Mike's first exposure was with Moonlight. Yeah, so it's like I think he just needs that break. I don't know if this is it, but like, man, like he's a great actor, and like he should be up there in the top echelon for the younger, the not old, black male actors out there. So like, give him his flowers as well. I want to see him more too. I think he's like I said, he's great. So yeah.
Yeah, man. I loved it. I agree with everything you said. Yeah, it's you said crazy ensemble. Acting was phenomenal across the board. Chef's kiss. I mean, this is right here. Like I said, this is next level. Like I don't know. You said it wasn't quite a masterpiece for you, bro. It's up there, man. It's knocking on the
Yeah,
door.
it's
You know what
up
I'm saying
there.
for
It's up
for
there.
me. And about his mother, man. Like I hated and I loved her at the same time. I mean, because she's loving, she's caring, she's nurturing, and all that. But going to the title of the film, exhibiting forgiveness. Now we don't gotta go deep dive as far as this is concerned, but I've talked about this before on my platform. I am spiritual and religious. I don't want to get too, but I do have faith, and I do believe in forgiveness. But I don't believe. I honestly feel that somebody can commit the most evil, heinous crime, but I still feel that, like, if in some cases they can truly, genuinely be sorry and want to turn away from that lifestyle or that choice. I don't believe in exhibiting forgiveness, though. I mean, excuse me. I don't believe in forgiving somebody repeated. For this, the same mistakes repeated over and over. You get one chance, maybe two, but if you keep doing the same thing over and over again, I'm done. And it just really broke my heart that Terrell went through so much BS as a child and was just told by not only his mom and dad that you need to endure, you need to move on, you need to forgive. Like no matter what. Oh, he's a changed man. He's different. He only beat me and your granddaddy put a gun to my mama and all this, but he's changing. You have to forgive him because God, that's what the Bible says. No matter, because and Michael, I believe in the Bible, but at the same time, it's really frustrating to me that I want to be careful the way I say this. In some spaces, it has been used as a negative to enslave the mind, and that's all I could think of when I was thinking. What was her name? Joyce. What was News Taylor's? Yeah, Joyce. That's all I can think of, man. Now I don't agree with Terrell when he was somewhat being blasphemous, like using profanity and in the Bible and talking about God's silly ass or something like that. He said, I understand the mother being frustrated there, but just the blind her blind take on just forgiving somebody no matter what they've done. When she was there as a child too, and witnessed it, it just really broke my heart, man. Because I know that people go through this in real life, and
Oh
it's
yeah,
just not
it's there.
fair.
I recognize it really quickly. This is some having some boomer parent shit. You know what I mean? For real. And even the mother, it's like whatever I need to do, I'm gonna stay by his side. You know what I mean? I just talked to a friend about this other day, and she talking about her mother, and it's like it's kind of eerie, like the same situation, but it was the father went farther along and became a deacon after being on some crack and stuff like that. But it's like her mother forgave him and was like, I'm never leaving, and you shouldn't either, even though he did this and it did that. You know what I mean? So it resonated with me real quickly, and I feel like it's relatable too. Like I said, this isn't a struggle movie in the sense of this guy, he's a struggling artist. Like, look, most of our friends, we're successful, doing well, and it's like, so I related to that in the sense of you know the drama is internal, right? You do well, but you still have these things you're wrestling with, your family drama. And again, this is a great film. I do recommend everybody go to therapy. But like, this is real life. Like, you still hold these grudges and you haven't healed, and you're just like being successful, and that's enough. Or you like, I'm gonna raise this family, and that's enough, and it's not. Like, you
Yeah,
really gotta
yeah,
address it. One of my favorite
yeah,
quotes that I live by was had it on me is life is a series of letting go, man. And it's like, it's hard, but you have to, right? Like, it's just one
yeah,
of those situations. Even like for me, like my mother passed, and I was talking to my sister because she was angry at her like the year before, and I was like, look, like, you're gonna be her same age, still angry with her. We watching my mom die, like, you gonna be the same age as her and still angry, and she gonna be gone like a whole couple, some decades or something like that. You know what I mean? Like you have to let it go, right? And it's like it's hard. It's definitely hard, and I like the way that he kind of like showcase forgiveness within art. I think that was beautiful. And it's like you said, meta, right? Like he's doing painting, but it's on film, and it's like it all makes sense to me. I know it's a little absurd, but that's how I look at a lot of boomer parents anyway, especially black boomer parents. Of course, you got a lot of these stories, you know what I mean? Like the dad working super hard in the plant or in the yards and get on some crack. I mean, we was born in the 80s, you know what I mean? So it's a thing, it's real life. And then the mother still stay there on the side and just pray about it and go to church. Like we all have seen this, like all of us.
Yeah,
So
it's sad, man. Like, can you imagine, bro? He couldn't have been more than 12 years old. Shoveling shit crap with your dad, mowing lawns. You jump on a nail. This man don't even take you to the hospital. You still got to cut your grass, and then all the money that you made that day, you see your daddy go buy drugs, and he makes you walk home, and the mama knows that and still forgives the daddy. And the thing about it, he said, remember the broken mirror? He said, you remember, I choose to forget that it did not happen. That was before we saw what happened. And then, he throws the mama on the mirror and knocks her out and goes and sits down and lights it up. Malcolm, dog, like, dog. That's
man.
dog. Real quick. And beside all that right there, this man was still successful, tried to lead us in his past. His mama died, and he still can, with all his success and his beautiful family, he still cannot move on literally without forgiving his daddy. I've never seen a movie or TV show. I mean, we've heard, like you said, we've heard them say, yeah, you got to let go, you got to forgive, but I've never seen it put together like where like they literally had to do that, or they could not, like their head was about to explode. Like this dude was punching walls. Like you have to fix it. So that just, it broke me, man. See that little boy go through that, bro, it broke me. It broke me.
Yeah, it's real life. I think we all had a moment like that as children. Like it's really relatable. Like this wasn't my exact story at all, but it's like, man, like I could connect. Even like if it wasn't me directly, like my grandmother had, there's 14 of them. You know what I'm saying? So I got several cousins and uncles or whatever, and of course, just being black. You know what I'm saying? You go have one that's a two on crack and like listening to they kids' stories. And like this is real life. Like that shit is like. The way my uncle described it is like it's like a ringing bell. Like and it's the best feeling in the world. You never want to stop. Like your body is like you have to have it like right now. Like sell that TV, sell that VCR. You know what I'm saying? So I can connect with that. Like not personally, but I can see how that transpired and like why that would be a thing. It's like but it wasn't in your face, and I appreciate that too. Like I said, this he was successful. Yeah, his dad paid the price for it. Was homeless. You know what I'm saying, and cleaning tires or whatever, and lost his connection with his son. So he paid a price. You know what I mean? It wasn't like he just did it and like all was well, but like no, even the wife was like, you just can't come back in here like nothing happened. You know what I mean? So
yeah. This also goes up, man. You can't judge people. Did I cut you off? My phone.
No, you good. I'm just thinking, man. I'm so excited about the movie.
Yeah. You just you can't judge people. You don't know where they're coming from, man. Their background. They had his little brother in here as well. Or I think it was his half brother, or maybe his cousin at the beginning. They was in that pool playing Skip the Rocks and all that. And it's just
that was beautifully shot, man. I wrote that down. Like I love the look of the film overall, like the way it was edited, the colors or whatever. It worked for me and what this film was going for. But yeah, that pool scene, I'm a nerd. I'm a film nerd. Like that was like beautiful. Like, oh, did someone paint this? Like, did he paint this? Like, I want to see this on film. Like that's even though it wasn't a painting, like it was beautiful to me too.
Yeah,
it just was a great setting.
Across the board, man. I had a doctor's appointment on the 27th, and I forgot about it, and I needed to do some blood work, and I forgot. And they sent me a message on Friday, like, hey, oh no, I think it was Friday. So okay, we're filming this March the 2nd, Sunday morning. I had a doctor's appointment on Friday. I missed it. I need to reschedule. I just said that to say, man, make sure y'all go to the doctor because of Joyce's situation. At the very beginning of this, she missed her appointment. Yeah, I'm I'm going to reschedule. She's in the hospital, begging to leave. She has high blood pressure, ends up dying. Man, we got to pay attention to our health. I personally think it's kind of selfish not to communicate with your loved ones about your condition. I mean, we healthy, we sick. You gotta talk to people. You know, we nobody wants to just be blindsided. Also, the way that Terrell was blindsided, with his daddy just popping up. I don't know. God
Mhm.
dang, like what do you expect? That is just so rude. You know what I'm saying? But his mom dying at the end, and then his wife singing over all of his pain, and them wrapping up the film. Like, oh yeah, you hit the nail on the head, Malcolm. Cheat code, man. It's impossible not to like how all this was brought together. I loved it, man. I really, if I said any complaints earlier, I can't think of them anymore, and I want to erase them. But this was perfect for me. Um, it was a damn good movie. I want to see more like this. This was just phenomenal. If I had to rate this out of 1 out of 10, I give it a 10. I
10.
honestly give this a
Okay.
10. Yeah, this was a perfect movie for me, bro. This got me. This got me. What are your?
It was phenomenal. I have maybe I need to watch it again. I don't call it a masterpiece, and that just we don't always agree on film, so that's
Yeah,
fine.
yeah, yeah.
It was very relatable to me, being a black person who's done well in life, and again have family members that have been through what the father had been through, and women, several women like the mother, and what I mean, and cousins going through what the main actor was going through, and having a family and thinking that's gonna heal. Like it's just so relatable to me as a middle class, college educated. You know what I'm saying? I've been in the art space and done well. Like it connected with me so much. I just wish that this could have spread more within this space. Like what I'm saying, on the social media apps, and I just don't understand like how we dropped the ball. Like even like you look up the reviews and then you see a couple, no name people, no offense, but then like in couple hundred views, and it's like, man, like we didn't do this service, man. This guy is phenomenal. And it didn't even try to preach. I know last one we talked about, like I don't like that aspect. Like people are flawed. It's how humans are.
Mm-hmm.
As long as they it's consistent throughout the film, like they ain't got to preach to me like, oh, this is good and this is bad and this is why. Like this, I see who you are. Just show me. And they didn't try to do that. It was just like it blew me away. I mean, there was some things I didn't like. The again, I think they could have made more of a distinction with the young kid when his younger self when he's on screen, like to show like, oh, this is a different. I'm seeing this in a different world. Like I think they were trying to bridge it and connect it, but like have like more clothes for that era, but also maybe a different tone that would have helped a little bit. But again, it's not the end of the world, not the worst thing. But also Titus, man, like he wrote this. He had some bars, and I stopped writing, and then they came in a great series. Like everybody spoke how they were going to speak, and it wasn't like they were. It was great, but like relationships are hard was one of them, and then the next one
Yeah.
and the next scene was like some things can't be worked out on canvas. It's like what? Like this one,
Yeah, yeah,
this dude is
yeah.
like it blew me
I
away.
remember that.
Dialogue,
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
rare that I love dialogue because dialogue is hard. But like that again, we talked about the pool. That like the way that it was framed. Like this guy's a talent. Like I know you do great paintings, but like doing it for 24 frames a second, you got just as much talent, and you need to keep going, bro. Like I'm shocked, and also the music, like you said, the music, the jazz, the color in it, the art. Again, the even the very beginning, the bro,
yeah.
it might be close to a masterpiece. Again, my only thing is like at the very end, the third act, right? Got a little hairy for me, especially with the um the flashback with the kid, and it's like yeah, you stepped on the nail, and the mother came on, took care of him, but it was just a choice. Like I think that it took her a while to like get angry with him. It's like he on crack. He
Yeah,
ain't coming home. He didn't let the kid walk home with a bloody foot with a nail in it. Like you should be angry right now. Again, it's a qualm. It's not like the worst thing in the world. I just think it could have been acted a little bit differently. You know what I
yeah,
mean? But little thhave like that. I think a little couple moments like that in the third act, but it didn't really take away totally from the movie. It didn't take me out of it. It just like
yeah.
I would have done a little different. So I'm not going to take it away from that. It's as of right now, it's a 9.5. It's close to a 10. It
Hey,
is.
I
It's,
love
it's,
that.
it's
Yeah,
teetering.
I
But
ain't
again,
mad
I
at
got a
you.
couple of little complaints about that third act.
Yeah,
How that was maybe directed, but again, first time. But this guy's brilliant. I want to see more of him. More of him. Like this one of them guys. Like even if you don't got the money, just throw some stuff on Tubi. Like you know me, I love independent black film, man, and looking for new artists. You know what I'm saying, to connect with, invest in, but like that. And so I'll be watching like Tubi movies sometimes. It's movies on
Yeah.
Prime to see like somebody's out here making movies that might not have the money, might not have the connections or whatever. Let me see. And like now this is this went into theaters. You know what I'm saying? This went on the film circuit. So but it's like this guy needs his flowers, and somebody needs to get this guy some money to make more films. I'm curious what he has next up in store. I'm hoping he's still writing. I know I see a lot of filmmakers like this that'll make something like this and like go on for 10, 20 years. You know what I mean? Like the old girl who did Eve's Bayou, for instance. Like, you make this phenomenal movie, and it's like we don't see you again. You know what I mean? But I hope this is not his story, because we need this right now in black film. So it's definitely a 9.5, but it's teetering on a 10. And just a couple of things I didn't like about the third act and how that was acting, and also the flashback scene. So, but it was great. It was great though.
Already, man. Already. Yeah. And even the way like the father was like telling his story of his first time hitting the drugs, the crack. That was great. It made you kind of sympathize with him.
Yeah,
Rotten
that was
Tomatoes.
new. Like normally,
Yeah.
again, it's not one of those film things where it's like trying to preach to you, but it's like you never get that on film. Like I haven't seen that before. Like, yeah, he smoke crack, he's bad, or he's whatever. And it's like
Yeah,
I have
this is
been waiting
different.
for that. I
Yeah.
have been waiting for somebody to like tell the story, and it's like,
Yeah.
wow, like, this guy checked a lot of boxes for me as a film goer, a lover of black film, independent black film, black directors, and it's like, man, like,
Yeah.
go ahead.
Yeah. 95% on Rotten Tomatoes, only 74 reviews, and only 100 for the audience. And so that's interesting right there.
Criminally slept on.
Yeah.
Criminally.
How much money did this make? Let me try to check that out real quick, if you guys don't mind. I can't imagine. Okay, 506. What was the budget for this though?
What's your
Uh,
guess? I think this is like a
no more than $3 million.
really 3
Maybe
million.
no. Maybe the production budget is. Oh, damn it! Not
They
public
don't
here,
show
but
it.
AI. Was there a Wikipedia site? Hold on, let me see the numbers. Okay, no, they're not going. Damn it. Well, if I find it, I'll pin it in the comment section. But guys,
Long story short, it didn't make enough money at the
yeah,
end of the
yeah,
day.
yeah,
Didn't at all.
guys, thank y'all so much for tuning in to our review for Exhibiting Forgiveness. 10 out of 10 with me, 9.5 out of 10 for Malcolm. Put it on the list. You will not regret it. And like I said, Malcolm, the icing on the cake was him cutting out the painting of himself at the very end of him cutting the line and then laying it to the side. I loved it.
Oh yeah,
Guys,
I was like, "What's going on?" But then it's like, "Oh, okay,
yeah,
keep blowing me away."
yeah. Follow Malcolm on Threads. Follow him on
Blue sky,
Instagram
blue
and
sky,
Blue
yeah.
Sky. Follow me on YouTube. And check out all the other videos that I have for you guys as well. I got a lot of them. But guys, again, we just want to thank you so much for tuning in. And before you go, don't forget that I'm B. Avery. That's Malcolm. And that's just our opinion. Peace out. And we'll see you next time.